What's up, booktube? It's Leah Cooper, and today I'm bringing you my random Twitter followers pick my TBR, basically. So I recently took everything off my bookshelves. I know this is kind of a terrible angle, but I'm working with like this much floor space, and trying to get my camera situated is a nightmare. So just bear with me. So I took all of my books off my bookshelf. I will show you in a second, or I'll insert a picture. And I reorganized all of them actually by color. I did mix up the read and unread, and the color thing is not the strictest because I don't have a ton of books, but this project was inspired because I wanted to get all of my physically unread books into Goodreads, and that does include probably about 50 books that I have actually read before, but I want to reread them and I own them. So altogether my Goodreads is 205 books. I knew I was going to do this, so I put out a call on Twitter asking my Twitter friends to give me numerical prompts to help pick the books that are going on my TBR, and they did that. I've got a little list in here. So like I said, I do have all of the books read and unread mixed together. The unread books are just behind these books. So all of these shelves are basically triple stacked because these shelves are really deep. So there's like a row back here at the very back, that's all the read books, and then there's 2 rows of unread books. But I'm going to go ahead and just count them down by number basically, and pull off the books that correspond to prompts. So my kind of one caveat is if a book gets picked that's later in a series, I won't read that one. I'll read the next one in the series from where I'm at. I think that makes sense. Okay, so let's get started. There were 2 repeated numbers as well, so I'm going to go ahead and use those 2 as my to pull from my 20 books to read in 2020 list as well. So I'm actually going to start with that, and those are way down at the bottom. It's the very, very bottom row, so you're not going to be able to see that. But my boyfriend prompted me with the number 5, and Julie, he prompted me with number 12. So I feel like I should be showing you this, so it's like full disclosure, but just bear with me. I'll be right back. Okay, so like I mentioned, since these are double stacked, I'm also going to go ahead and just count from the front. So I'll do count the front row 1, 2, 3. So like right here, you can see this. This would be 1, 2, 3, and then I do the second row, which would be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, etc. And this row is actually divided into 2 little sections, and I'm just gonna I'll just try to be consistent. So let's talk about the books I pulled off my 20 books to read in 2020 based off DT and Julie's prompts. So number 5 is actually, this works out really well because I need to read this book. That is Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. This has appeared on a couple previous TBRs. It's the last Jane Austen I need to reread for my Jane Austen reread as an adult. I have a ton of Jane Austen related books, so that would be like nonfiction titles and also retellings, just adjacent kind of books, riffs on Jane Austen books, and I want to do kind of like a month of Jane Austen reading. I also really want to read the Jane Austen book club, but before I start all that, I wanted to finish rereading all the Jane Austen novels as an adult. This is the last one I need to do. So this is an excellent pick for this TBR. The other prompt was number 12. That was Julie's number, and that is Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. Gillian Flynn? Gillian? It's Gillian, right? Whatever. So not on my radar, but I was kind of thinking of reading The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest, so another female-led thriller. Not a bad pick. We got those 2. And now for the rest of the books, I'm going to go ahead and just pull them off of my normal TBR because no one specifically said they wanted me to pull anything else off my 20 and 20 TBR. I just decided to do the duplicates because it made sense. So going in order, my friend Jackie also prompted me with number 5. So let's pull that off my regular TBR. I'm going to lower this so you can see a little. The problem is, of course, the color organization here is that this shelf doesn't count. This shelf is all nonfiction, and I'm not putting this in like my normal TBR, and I did not want it included in this random TBR. I think for obvious reasons. So then the colors start with black, and this entire shelf is just black books. And then this shelf is white, silver, bronze, brown tone books. So I think most of the books I'm going to be pulling from are from right here, but black books, fortunately, don't show up super well against a black background in this little camera. But we're gonna try. So number 5 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh man. Okay. That is In the Skin of a Lion by Michael Ondaatje, a dazzling predecessor to his Booker Prize-winning The English Patient, and a novel in which the characters Hannah and Caravaggio appear for the first time. So I don't actually know if this was written before The English Patient, but I think it does take place... Let me check. This is 1987. When did The English Patient come out? Because I do have that. Like, I can just check it right here. No, 92. Okay, so perfect. I always thought that this was like, you should read it after The English Patient, but apparently you should read it first. So, here we go. In the Skin of a Lion. Again, something that's been on my TBR for forever, and I really should be reading it. Then, the next one I was prompted, Kelsey gave me the number 7 or 17. I'm just going to go with and 17. So let's find number 7 first. 1, 2, 3. I have to remember when I take stuff out too. 1, 2, 3, 4. Took out 5, 6, 7. Oh god, that's a big one. Oh god. So that's An Instance at the Finger Post by Ian Pearce. I've previously read Arcadia by Ian Pearce, which is his science fiction novel. I did really love it. I picked this up for like $2 or maybe 50 cents at, ironically, the store I used to work at, but before I worked there. This is his historical fiction crime thriller. It is about a crime case set in Oxford in the 1660s, a time and place of great intellectual ferment. This remarkable novel centers around a young woman who stands accused of the murder of Robert Grove, a fellow of New England College. 4 witnesses describe the events surrounding his death. This is dense and long. Oh, but Tome Topple going on? The next round of Tome Topple is going on in May, isn't it? This is 692 pages. But if Tome Topple is going on, this would be a pick for Tome Topple. So there we go. Okay, that's number 7. Then the next prompt would be Megan. She also prompted me with number 12. So let's find that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is missing, 6, 7 is missing, 8, 9, and then I'm going to start here. 10, 11, 12. So that is A Wizard Abroad, which is the 4th book in the Diane Duane Wizard book series. So the first one of those is actually this one, and I haven't read the series at all. So that would be So You Want to Be a Wizard. So middle grade. Hey, at least it's short and quick to read. Put this on there. Then we've got number 13. So wait, okay, so this was 12. Then number 13 would be A Wizard Deep, or Deep Wizardry, sorry, which is ironically the 2nd book in the series. So maybe I'll try to read the first 2 in the series. And then the next prompt is for number 15, and this was Jade. Jade prompted me to read Walk the Earth a Stranger, or number 15. I'm trying to remember. Oh, Walk the Earth a Stranger is number 3. It's right here. Let's see what number 15 is, though. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 would be Dean Koontz. I really don't want to read Dean Koontz. So, I'm going to take a cheat since Jade specifically prompted me to read this book. I did purchase this book on her recommendation. So, you know what? I'm going to go do a cheat since she specifically prompted me to read this, and I'll put this on the TBR. Because that would be a good, breakup mix of genres. This way we've got adult, middle grade, and YA now represented. And then the next prompt was Kelsey. She also prompted me with number 17. So that would be 16, 17 would be The Rag Witch by Garth Nix. A nice long, 391. It's actually not that long. Fantasy novel by Garth Nix. I picked this up just because I love his abortion series. So what is this about? Comes classic fantasy set in a world dominated by the Rag Witch, a being of sinister, destructive intent. Quiet, easygoing Paul never expected to be cast in the role of savior, but his strong-willed sister Julia has come under the thrall of the Rag Witch, and Paul himself is drawn not only into the creature's world, but into a battle for Julia's very existence as well as his own. And I also don't know if this is adult or YA. His abortion series is YA, but I don't know. And then the one book that's going to get us out of the black books is Kai maybe? They prompted me with number 113. So let's start counting. Let's see. Shout out to my boyfriend's little brother who made me this formicarium. He loves ants. I don't. So this is empty. I'm not gonna lie, I got this in a 2-part Christmas gift that my boyfriend sent me, and I was terrified that part 2 was gonna be a box full of ants. What was I at? Shit, 52? I hope I was at 52 because that's where I'm going from. Okay. Yes, 113. Oh man. This is a beat up old book. Some sort of doodad there. Whew. Okay, so 113, by my reckoning, assuming I was at 52, is Possession by A.S. Bryant. I picked this up for like 50 cents. This is a truly beat up, kind of disgusting old copy, and I've always kind of regretted buying this copy. But it was cheap. I kind of expect I'm going to read or DNF and then just donate this somewhere else. So let's sit down and look at all the books that got picked. So this is the stack of books that my Twitter friends randomly picked for me. I'll go through them real fast just one more time. Again, I've got So You Want to Be a Wizard and Deep Wizardry by Diane Duane. If I only get to one of these, I'll consider that a really good start on this series that I have collected and I haven't started yet. It was pretty high on my next kids middle grade fantasy series to get to, so I'm excited about that. Then I've got The Rag Witch by Garth Nix. I also decided to go with Walk the Earth a Stranger. A little bit of a cheat, but it's by one sheet here for some YA, just to keep things, mixed up. Then we've got 2 historical fiction novels. We've got The Sign at the Finger Post and In the Skin of a Lion. I'm thinking that this will go ahead and be my tome topple book for round 11. Sounds good, right? Then we've got 2 kind of, I guess technically this is also historical fiction because it is, there's 2 timelines. I've seen the movie. I haven't read the book, but I've seen the movie, and I think there's supposed to be 2 timelines. One of them is about a writer around like late Austen, like late Regency, early Victorian maybe, not entirely sure about the time period. Oh no, it says the lives of 2 Victorian poets. So there's a timeline that takes place in the Victorian area about some writers, and then there's also a sequence set in modern day for when this was written, and I think this was written in the 90s. 1990, exactly, about some scholars doing some research on the Victorian love poets. And then we've got the thriller Gone Girl. I'm the last person to read it. And finally, Sense and Sensibility, which I guess is actually also historical fiction, but it's a classic. Okay, we're just going to call it a classic. And then these 2 are obviously off of my 20 books to read in 2020. So I would say these are my first 2 priorities to get read this month. Because I do need to make progress on my 20 books to read in 2020. Reading The Historian, which is buried way up at the back of the black books, reading that book really put me behind on reading. You can now kind of see them down here. These are my 20 to read in 2020 list. I really wanted to be reading like 1 a month, but The Historian took me almost 3 months to read, and I didn't read anything else off this list in that time period, so I need to make up some ground. So I'm going to start with these two, and then I will work on getting the rest of these read. This is quite a hefty TBR, I would say, based on like these four books alone constitute quite a number of pages, though I think this one will be a quick read just because it's YA and it's fantasy, and that's always like fun. But the Ian Piers is going to be dense. Like, I just know it's going to be dense, and Possession might be quite dense as well. I do think the Michael Ondaatje will be a pretty quick read. We have some kids' books which are going to be a lot faster, and I don't know what to expect from Sense and Sensibility. I think the Garth Nix will be an easy read because, again, I do love him as an author. But I haven't read this since I was a kid, and I found this very slow. This was probably like the slowest, other than Mansfield Park, of the Austens that I read as a child, and I always preferred the movie. Just because it was easier to consume. This one I struggled with, so we'll see if I do now as an adult. I might not. I might fly through this. Who knows? But yeah, that's my ambitious Twitter friends picked. Can we get them all in the shot? Yeah, there we go. TBR. Thank you everyone on Twitter for giving me my random numbers and helping me kind of celebrate my new shelf organization. I'm super looking forward to this, and we'll see how I do at the end of the month. Look forward to that wrap up, and thanks for watching. Let me know what you are most excited for to read next month. Well, actually this month. This video is going to be going out on the 1st of May, I think. Let me know if you've read any of these books, if you like them. It's definitely I think this TBR is going to be a very like throwback older books kind of thing. Like, there are a lot of books in this list that are, if not outright classic, they are like a lot of 90s, early aughts titles. So that's cool. Little big change up from the last 2 months where I've been reading a lot of new releases. Alrighty. Thanks for watching. Click that subscribe button, follow me on Twitter, etc. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.